Shalom, we have the ICBK coming out of 1 West on the 25th Street Hall, New York, on the Commander Junior High. Today's topic is going to be the kingdom and how it's not going to be the same for everybody. Now, you have the fake Israelite groups and the Christian church, and their view of heaven is everybody's going to be equal, right? They believe that everybody's going to be equal, and they believe that all the heathens is going to be able to reap the same benefits as us, when we don't reap nowhere near the same benefits as they do in their kingdom. Now think about this for a second. Now, you know, that type of mindset doesn't even make sense to say that the kingdom, everybody's going to be just equal in the kingdom. They're not going to be able to go for that. The heathens is not going to be able to tolerate being equal with us. You know what I'm saying? They don't want us. Think about it. How much of the wealth do we control inside this kingdom? What, maybe 1%? 1% of the wealth? Oh no, it don't sound like equality to me. Does to you, officer? Does that sound like equality? And like what people believe that the Most High just got a magic wand and He's gonna hit all the Gentiles, all the heathens on their head, and then their mind is just gonna change. No, it's not gonna be like that. They're gonna be forced to serve. We were supposed to serve in this kingdom, right? That means it's only fair. That's equality. Think about it. We served them for 400 years in their kingdom. They serve us, you know what I'm saying, in our kingdom for duration. That's equal right there. I mean, look what they put us through, and we're not going to be doing the same evil stuff to them. You know, as a matter of fact, they're going to benefit off us being in rulership. They're going to benefit off of that. You see, and then what do they try to say? They try to say that black people, you know, who's heard this? Black people are more racist than anybody. Yeah, have y'all heard that? Yeah. You know, that's what they say. They say black people is more. What people on the face of the planet? Think about it. You have all of these different nations that have businesses in our neighborhoods, but how many of our businesses in theirs? In any of them? Huh? Yeah. Even the lowest mud hut African, we don't have a business inside their community. And you know what? If we was to try to put a business inside their community, they would rile up, they'll burn it down.
Right.
We think about it. We look at this. I mean, we kind to them beyond their own belief. Mm-hmm. They can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? They can't believe that they could actually come to this country, you know. And when among people that act like we're in a war zone because we're always blowing each other away and everything, right? Mm-hmm. And set up a business and be unharmed themselves while getting rich. And, you know, either legally and illegally, because they're pushing a lot of the illegal stuff here too. Mm-hmm. Now, just think about this deal with Afghanistan. When the Taliban just took over Afghanistan, right? Yeah. You know. So that means they beat who in war? Go ahead.
They beat America.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? When they talk about Esau being blessed with the sword, that's not talking about him being the best fighter on the planet. That's not what it's talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
That means that they killed them, basically, right? Or they want them.
They kick. We'll put it this way in nigga terms. They kick much ass. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They kick much American ass. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? What they did, and they were heavily funded by somebody. And see, here's the thing too. They took interest. You know, it's not just oil that America was interested in by going over to Afghanistan. Right. They interested in the poppy plants because Afghanistan produces like what, somewhere around 90% of the poppy plants from the earth, and the poppy plants is what you need to make heroin.
Yeah, poppy plants as in poppy seed, right?
Right. The bulb that you cut open and all the white stuff pour out. They need that to make heroin.
Yeah, kind of. And you know, also that has a purpose when you are like in a chronic pain and things of that sort. As far as I say medicinal purposes.
Right.
Kind of. Yeah.
Opium. They make opium out of it.
Yeah, opium. Yeah, kind of.
So are they trying to have a lot of more people on drugs or something?
You ever notice since they went back to Afghanistan how heroin boomed here?
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Heroin, boomed here, but one thing that they hate to have to do, they hate to have to pay the Taliban and stuff like that, because they control a large portion of the poppy plants. And, that's probably one of the things that funded their war so much. Go ahead.
And then with the heroin stuff too, it's a lot of people who overdose on it too, and they have to, with the pharmacies, they got people that have overdose tags and stopping people from having overdose.
Yeah. Just think about it, and all that stuff is flooding the black community.
Mm-hmm.
Heroin done made a strong comeback. It ain't made a comeback like this. It's like the 70s or something, right?
As far as what, the war on drugs?
No, as far as people using it.
Oh, yeah.
Because,
That's
people didn't talk. Right? People didn't talk because 80 was the crack era.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? 80s, going up into the mid 90s, everybody started switching on and getting pills and all of that.
Right.
But America went back to Afghanistan, and all of a sudden, heroin boomed again.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They want control of that poppy, and also that they know that the truth is coming out real heavy, so they want to get the worst, the most dangerous drugs, to put us back to sleep. And that's one of the reasons why heroin makes the comeback. Just like it did in the 70s, because people was waking up during the time of the 70s. That's when the ISUPK got started.
That's right.
In the 60s and 69.
Right.
Rolling into the 70s, heroin, they pushed heroin.
Mm-hmm.
Real tough to take the truth and try and put it to sleep. That's what they was trying to do, Now, after a while, we went back to sleep, you know what I'm saying? And then the crack era hit, and then, now with people waking up and the truth is starting to, it's starting to become, the knowledge of the truth is starting to become common knowledge now.
Yeah.
They got to give you their hardest stuff again. You know what I'm saying? They got to give you that heroin again. To put you back to sleep. Go ahead.
Okay, it's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
If I have to, I'll take over for you.
Okay.
Put this on, but you keep going.
Yeah, so that's what they always do. They push the hardest stuff at that time, and then they had started having a problem with the Taliban. They started that war back in 2001 after the Trade Center got hit.
9/11.
I mean, the Twin Towers.
9/11.
Yeah, 9/11.
Right.
9/11. And it's funny because 9/11 is approaching again, right?
Oh yeah.
And with 9/11 approaching again, the Taliban just won the war out of Afghanistan. And I would not be surprised if the Taliban is also backed by high up Americans, just playing both sides of the fence, just like with Hitler. It was the same thing. Hitler had much American support.
Oh yeah,
much. As a matter of fact, Prescott Bush, the patriarch of the Bush family, he was Hitler's secret banker.
Yeah.
And he was awarded something like 1.5 million. That was a lot of money back then. It wasn't like $1 million back then. It's not like what $1 million is today. You know what I'm saying? $1 million back then was somewhere like maybe 25 million today, somewhere in that area, right?
Sounds about right. Absolutely.
Yeah, about 25 million in today's currency. Now here's the thing. The Christian pastors should be seeing what's coming, just like what the ISUPK is seeing, because you have the Afghans and everything that's going to come here. And what are they going to do? Do the same damn thing, set up the businesses and rape the black community.
Absolutely. Oh,
Right. But the Christian pastors, and guess what? The Christian pastors will give them, all the support in that they want. You know what I'm saying? They break them off a couple of little crumbs, and that's horrible. But just how cheap, our the black leaders' price tag is.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? How cheap of a price tag, they have. I mean, think about it. It ain't no damn way we should trust the Christian church at all.
Right.
Especially like in this time, You know what I'm saying? I mean, at this time, people should know, hey, look, we gotta leave that damn Christian church. People should know that. And stop taking the Christian counsel and all of that. We should already have a layout of how they're going to counsel people on whatever situation. You know what I'm saying? And we should know that counsel goes to our demise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And not to, it's not to prosper us as a turn. They know, that they want to turn your woman against you. That they want, to make sure you're not angry with the white man.
Right.
They want, this is like the format of their whole council. And to hate black men, you got to do that. You know what I'm saying? You got to hate black men.
Yeah.
And forgiveness is for everybody but them, unless they're gay and in that church and in the choir. Then forgiveness is for them.
Right.
Ain't that so?
You're right
In
about that.
fact, I want to go to Isaiah 56 and 10.
You said Isaiah 56.
Right, 56 and 10.
Okay, I got you.
Okay.
I got you. All right, you ready?
Right.
All right. Isaiah chapter 56, verse 10. His watchmen are blind.
The watchmen are blind because the Christian pastors, they couldn't see, it's funny, they couldn't see COVID coming.
Oh, yeah.
Now, these are supposed to be the dudes that have the foresight, right?
Right. So they say.
Right. I mean, yeah, so they say, this is, but if they sitting in the same seat, you know what I'm saying, as the apostles, right, then they should know these things. They should see this stuff coming. They should be able to see danger ahead. Danger coming towards blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They should be able to see it.
Right.
And be able to warn the people. And we keep going.
Come. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant.
They're all ignorant. And see, this type of ignorance is a sin. This particular kind. Ignorance itself is not a sin. It just simply means you don't know nothing. You don't know something.
Right.
But willing ignorance is. You know what I'm saying? They're willingly ignorant.
Come.
And you know what? And if you ask them on any of these issues, they'll say, you shouldn't worry about it. They'll try and flip it around and shame you and say, you shouldn't worry about things like that. You should just be worried about being saved. You should just be worried about salvation. Why are you worried about all that? You should worry about salvation. They'll play, and then you put your head down like, I should be, just worried about that. I shouldn't be worried about. They don't even. You're supposed to know what's going on in the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to know, and your pastors and everything is supposed to be sharpening you and teaching you to have good analytical skills.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? The analytical skills as far as being able to analyze the world that's around you. Because having good analytical skills can show you also how things are going. It also teaches you about people.
That's
You know what I'm saying? Just like the Godfather. I'm a huge Godfather fan.
Yeah, I know.
It was a point where Vito Corleone said that he learned more from people than he could have ever learned in any classroom. Because he was real good with people. You know what I'm saying? He was real good with people. He was, to be honest with you, I think he was even, smarter than his son, as far as in that, because he had the values like family values and things like that. He understood the importance of race and the stock that he come from and stuff like that, and it's a community. You know what I'm saying? He had a strong sense of that. But that's what the Christian pastors are supposed to be teaching you. You know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be teaching you those type of things, especially the men. You know what I'm saying? The men, he's supposed to be raising shepherds.
Right.
But he ain't raising no shepherds because he's not a shepherd himself. For real, he's a hireling.
That's
you know what I'm saying? And when trouble comes, he up and runs.
That's right.
What did all the Christian pastors do when all this trouble came down with the thing, the riots and all that? Where were they at? Go ahead. But yeah, and not only did they close their doors, they went into hiding. You didn't hear nothing from them. You know what I'm saying? And then if you did hear anything from them, they were not addressing the current situation. So how can you look to somebody go ahead?
And they was also still taking time.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like they was having Zoom church meetings,
Oh, yeah.
and
Right.
they was taking ties to a Cash App.
Right, yeah, I remember that. I remember
Mhm.
about that too. It sure the hell was taking
Mhm.
tithes all through the cash out,
Yeah,
still collecting tithes, not
triple
teaching nothing.
ties, like triple ties.
Oh, yeah, there we
Yeah,
go. Triple
yeah.
tithes. It's
Mm.
funny, we used to be about 10 years ago, they started the double tithes.
Yeah, I remember
And
that.
now they went into triple tithes.
Yeah.
And they sitting back and just laughing all the way to the bank. How docile blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are, and how we can just be used like that. And now these are the leaders doing this,
Right.
and the leaders make sure everybody else get a bite of us too. They make sure everybody else can chomp us real tough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I mean, a Christian pastor is, and all of these, I can't just only blame the Christian pastors. You got to blame these, internet dudes. You know what I'm saying? These the red pill type dudes. You know what I'm talking about?
Are you talking about the conspiracy theory cats?
No, not the conspiracy. The dudes
Conscious
that's
community.
no, the dudes is kind of on the Kevin Samuels level. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I put them all in the same category. So
Yeah, but I mean, they are a little bit different though. You know what I'm saying? Because they saying something totally different. The conscious community say the black woman is God,
Yeah.
while the red pill dudes say the very opposite.
I mean, I know it's a certain name that you talk about. I just can't remember it off the top.
Yeah, like these high value, so-called high value men too. You know what I'm saying? The high value men that's always talking about Pookie and Ray Ray and try to make it like that the average black man is what's wrong with society. You know what I'm saying? Like he's all the world's problem. They'll talk about him, but they won't talk about that. They talk about Esau. They won't talk about the Cro-Magnon man. They stay away from that. You know what I'm saying? But they blaming him, but they got to take that blame themselves because in reality, they are similar to that Christian pastor. They sat in a seat similar to his. You know what I'm saying? They sat in a seat and they sat there and talk about Pookie and Ray Ray as being the problem. But in reality, to keep it all the way real, without Pookie and Ray Ray, there would be no black people being born because Pookie and Ray Ray having all the damn kids.
Right. Yeah.
While these high value Negroes is getting vasectomies or, you know what I'm saying, or something like that, they don't want to have no kids, but then view themselves as being high value and act like they got the answers to what's going on in this society when in reality they should be learning from us.
Right.
And a lot of the stuff that they say, about manhood and this and that, some of that stuff they got from the UPK, but they won't give the UPK the credit for that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Instead, they don't mention us, but they put us in the same damn category as Pookie and Ray Ray. You know what I'm saying? But when we really look at it, that's who Christ came for. Christ saved the disciples was Pookie and Ray Ray first.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You only had one of them that was the Apostle Paul. He was, kind of a high society dude. Matthew was a tax collector.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But when it comes to like Peter, and Peter was a fisherman, which was a job that was looked at as nothing. It was looked at how we look at, working at McDonald's today or working at some temp service. You know what I'm saying? And that's actually, the Pookie and Ray Ray type, according to, their, how they categorize people. You know what I'm saying? Because the blue collar guy is Pookie and Ray Ray too. Me, myself, I ain't never worked a job where Pookie and Ray Ray wasn't at. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They did knock their weed and everything on the side, which I was Pookie and Ray Ray one time myself. I came in with, selling dope and weed inside the place that I worked at. You know what I'm saying? But like I was saying, Pookie and Ray Ray at least know he's doing wrong.
Right.
At least he know that. You know what I'm saying? He making rap songs talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Talking about how he done such amount of time because he did this and that. All of that change your life type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like the intervention type of thing.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know.
But the high value dudes, just like that Christian pastor, think they got it right.
Right.
They think that they got it right. But in reality, them niggas can't come together to screw in a light bulb. They can't come together as a team themselves. You see what I'm saying? And see, here's the thing about it. But with them judging themselves as such high value, why would they do what these other races have done that they praise so damn much? Why don't they take their what did the white man do with his Pookie and Ray Rays? Anybody know? Anybody know what did the white man do? Go ahead. No, he did not disown them. No, hell no. Why would he do that? Go ahead.
Are they like trailer trash?
Not only are they trailer trash, but I was looking more, of the lines of the police department. You see what I'm saying? They made them go ahead.
So I was going to say he used them as a resource.
Yes.
So all of that at the bottom, he still used his own people.
Yeah, he used them. Yeah. Those are his goons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To enforce his laws. To make sure that the slaves don't rise up against the slave master. You know what I'm saying? They provided opportunities and knew the use of their Pookie and Ray Rays. Now, these niggas, these high value dudes are so damn smart, then why can't they think the same way? Why can't they take these niggas are making 6 figures, some of them in the upper 6 figures, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they got damn a few million subscribers and all of that, getting 1 million subscribers on their YouTube channels and all of that. Why ain't they sitting there taking their Pookie and Ray Rays and, giving some structure to them and not trying to change him and trying to make him do what the hell he is, not trying to put a goddamn suit on him. You know what I'm saying? Use him as your, as your security.
Right.
Because a lot of people want to do stuff to those people, those high value dudes, those YouTube personalities. Hire you a team of Pookie and Ray Rays. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. I mean, that's what a smart man would do. You know what I'm saying? Don't try to change Pookie and Ray Ray. Use him for what he's good at. He's good with slinging that pistol. You know what I'm saying? He's good with that. Hire him for that. You know what I'm saying? Have them dudes roll with you. You know what I'm saying? Just put certain little rules on them, like, no drugs and such, and all this and that. But hell, what need would they have to sell drugs if, you putting them on the damn payroll? You know what I'm saying? Now they can, clear their head and, think and know not to, sell no dope or nothing like that. Mm-hmm. Why ain't they providing opportunities? A team of them niggas can come together and provide opportunities for the Pookie and Ray Rays.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They could hire, like I said, they could hire them as their security. So them niggas ain't worth listening to either. You take the stuff that they say with a damn grain of salt. They write about some things, but you got to understand that the whole of them is still wrong. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? The whole, just because somebody says something right, just like they say, a broke clock is right twice a day. You know what I'm saying? But the clock is broke. They broken clocks. Right. All right. Go to Deuteronomy chapter 14 and verse 21.
Yeah. Deuteronomy chapter 14, verse 21. Ye shall not eat of anything that dies of itself. Is that it? Okay,
I'm just, anything that dies of itself is an animal that just died for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? He died of itself. He probably had some type of disease or something like that, but the animal's dead. We are not to eat that.
Right.
Now, this law is given to us, but keep going with that.
Son, ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger.
Wait a minute. It said we shall give it unto the stranger. Does that sound like there's going to be, like the kingdom is going to be the same for everybody? Does that sound like that?
No.
It don't.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't sound like that at all. Now think about this. Put this. Now imagine, something died of itself, and then you grab it and you scoop it up or whatever, and you're like, if somebody's like some heathen come through, you'd be like, man, you want this? Now, how would Christians look at that? They'd be like, oh, you offering him something? No, but it's according to the scriptures, I can give it to him to eat, but we can't eat it.
Mm-hmm.
a lot of dudes will have, a lot of people would have a problem with that. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
You can't give it to them. You can't give it to strangers either, right?
No, we can give it. What can you read that again?
God. You shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself.
Now, who's being talked to here? This is talking to the nation of Israel here.
Right.
Go ahead.
Thou shalt not give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates.
Can you read that part again?
Oh, Salaki, my bad. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger.
Shall give it to the stranger. Go ahead.
Mhm.
So who is the stranger?
Any other race.
Okay.
Right, right.
Any other races outside Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, we can give it to them and we can sell it to them. We can sell it to them also. So does this sound like a kingdom that everything is the same? Does it sound like that? Huh?
Say it one more time.
Does it sound like a kingdom where everything is going to be the same? The law prohibits everybody being equal and the same. The law prohibits that.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
We can't give them the same. Now think about it. You know, if he's, Christian, if he's Christian devils, go ahead.
They do this to us now, like Chinese people.
Yeah.
Moabites, they give us so-called chicken. Chicken fried rice.
Yeah. They don't treat their own
And
like that.
probably bread.
Right. They don't treat it. All of these businesses that set up, they treat us a different way than what they treat their own people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They treat us a different way. And it comes natural to them. They don't even have to read the scriptures to even know to treat strangers different. The thing about it is, we got to teach each other this stuff because we, in our minds, we view everybody as being greater than us. Some devil comes into our business. We have a restaurant. We make sure that he gets served better than what we serve our own people. We could do the damn direct opposite. And this is one thing. Go ahead.
So, if I may, it's one thing that you just said that's very important. As Black and Hispanic people, especially us being influenced by the oppressor, or I would say the other nations, the other nations as well. One thing that we definitely do, we believe that we are the same people, but also too, we have a sense of they are better than us.
Right.
And both of those things is what messes us up as a people.
Right.
So
think about it. That's why these, nations marvel at us, because we do. They know that they couldn't survive if they talk like we do. They still wondering how the hell are they even surviving? Yeah. How are they functioning inside such great dysfunction?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's how the world knows that we are the Lord's people, because no other race could survive. Like, they'd go extinct.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With the mindset and everything that we have is to enrich everybody else while we be poor. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They would go extinct. But we are still here. Mm-hmm. And that's all behind the promise that the Most High made to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Without that, we'd be done. We'd be the first race on the planet to go totally extinct. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We would go totally extinct. And we see one of us, it'd be like seeing Bigfoot. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You want me to go ahead?
Yeah.
All right. I'm just going to read the last line back.
Yeah, the last one.
Okay, come on. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger.
Give it unto the stranger, and like I said, we can sell it to him. So what will we give our own though? What would we give our own? We would give our own the live one,
right?
The healthy one. You know what I'm saying? That's not dying of itself or nothing like that. That's what we would have to give to our. That's what we give to our own, while we give the heathen the dead one. Mm-hmm. Good.
It's like that dead one is pretty much a dead body of an animal, which is called a carcass. And of course, it's unlawful for us to, touch a dead carcass. But of course, there was laws and ways that we will carry that dead body to the stranger.
Right.
Meaning that we'll give it to them. Otherwise, they come and get it. Right. That's why it says that is in thy gates.
Right.
So yeah. Right. And this is also a law, by the way. Deuteronomy, the Hebrew is Devarim, which means the bar means words. The books or the words, like it, the words. And that's what Deuteronomy means in Hebrew. So yeah, so I mean, this right here is all nothing but a law.
Right. So now let's take that mindset and transfer that into business.
Mhm.
Right. Now notice the law that we just read right here, right? The law that was just read. Now, fast forward to today's time. We own a business, right? Let's say a restaurant. We can treat our own differently than what we treat them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We can charge them more. If you charge a brother $4 for a sandwich, you can charge that heathen $7, $8 for the same sandwich.
That's called usury.
Yes.
And in the Bible, that's lawful to charge a heathen usury,
Yes.
but your own people is unlawful.
So what I'm saying is, most people don't know that law. They hate that law right there. You know what I'm saying?
I know.
Fake Israelites, they hate that law.
I don't know why, but
Right.
I mean, like, I like to cut my brother some slack.
Right.
I love to cut my sister some slack. Like, you know what? And you know what? Also, too, all throughout Deuteronomy and Genesis, when the story about how the brother he was pleading with the man to give him some more time to pay him, and he gave him some more time, but then he didn't show brotherhood to the next person who owed him money, and he beat him and put him in jail.
Right.
See what I'm saying? That's in either Genesis or Deuteronomy. But it's like, it's like understanding this the spirit of what's going on today as far as the Hebrews and the heathens. It went on back then.
Right.
So why not want to cut your brother some slack? And you have to understand, we in poverty.
Right.
We are in hell. We are dealing with oppression. So if you ain't got it right now, I'll give you some time. I'll give you a year, 50 years, whatever.
Right.
You feel me? But as far as a heathen, I need it right now.
Right. And that's legal according to the laws of the land.
There you go.
It's
yes.
legal.
Yes, it is.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We can charge a heathen $7, $8 for the same sandwich we charge our brother $4.
It's called interest.
You know what I'm saying? Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And they can't now think about it. What worst case scenario? Well, I don't want to eat here, which is good for us. So what does that mean? That means, worst case scenario, no devils will be coming to us to buy the food. So we don't have to worry about them coming in, spreading COVID and all of that, you know what I'm saying, inside our establishment.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And blacks and Hispanics will have a place that they can go and chop it up. Be over in the corner over here playing poker or whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it used to be back in the days, back in the juke joint days. You know what I'm saying? When other races come into our establishments, we should treat them different. They treat us like that. They don't even let us use their bathrooms. You know what I'm saying? Right. When you go into any Chinese restaurant, I don't care where you're at. You know what I'm saying? Their bathroom is always broke.
I'm glad you said that. It took me a while to learn that in Minnesota, because I'm just like, damn, how the hell you got all these restaurants and you got all these places? Like, we come to get food, but somebody got to use the bathroom. It's not open for the public.
Right.
But it's open for you guys.
Right.
So I'm just like, like we spending all this money, so you telling me I can't use your bathroom? Oh, right. It's out of service.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not working right now.
Right.
But the bathroom is towards the back of where you guys cook at in the kitchen. Right. So I know damn well you guys are using that bathroom.
Right. Yeah.
But where else are you guys going then? If everything else is out of service. Right. I'm like, I know exactly what you guys are doing. Right. You feel me? You know what I mean? Like, good night, man.
So look at with them treating us like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We can raise the prices of whatever goods it is we're selling. Now think about it. Now, if you ain't got no devils to go to this place and the food is real good, people talking about how good the food is, guess what? The devils are still going to want to come to it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They always came, when they wanted some good food. You see, devils go to black nightclubs and restaurants and all of that stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Even the Negro League games, devils would go to that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
If we, eventually they'll come and pay that $7 to $8. You know what I'm saying? Because the food is so good.
Yeah.
They'll come and they'll pay that $7 to $8, and guess what? They'll respect us for that. Mm-hmm. That's one thing about black Hispanics. We talk to seek love. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, you have some of the hardcorest dudes, you know, in prison. They didn't seek no goddamn love from nobody. If they were seeking love in prison, they'd be bent the hell over. You know what I'm saying? They'd be running up in them. They just going to prison talking about seeking love and all of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, they let them want to unify with another race. A lot of prisons do not play that. Blacks is with the blacks. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just Asians there. It'll be Asians with Asians. Whites with whites. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because, you know, they actually function in that right. They function better than us. You know what I'm saying? And they respect one another. They do business with each other, but they don't sit there trying to merge with each other and all of that stuff. They'll buy, you know, this, that from this group with that, you know, and do all of that. But they are not, you know, merging. Why the hell are people in prison so much smarter than people that are outside of prison? You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, you know, a lot of prisoners are geniuses in comparison to a lot of people that's out in the free world. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It just is what it is. They learn things in prison, and it's not always coming from opening a book. You know, they have good analytical skills because in there you have to analyze people. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're forced to. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You have to know there's rules. You know what I'm saying? That they all have to go by. And in some prisons, they even got court. Among the inmates. The inmates come together and have a court. Whoever was running, whatever gang is the deepest and the most violent and all of that, they a lot of the times have court to judge certain matters and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Why the hell, you know, and they, you know, and a lot of them don't have a lot of books. A lot of them didn't go far in school or any of that. But at the same time, know how to move in the world that they're in way better than we know how to move in the world that we live in.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
And their world is in literal confinement. You know what I'm saying?
That's like, okay, yeah, just whenever you're able to get to them.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Oh, right now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, I got you then. Did you want to finish up the last scripture?
Yeah, finish up.
Sure? Okay, all right, I got you. Thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates.
Give it to the stranger that actually lived in Jerusalem. But see, here's the thing, though. Yeah, you know, and that's another thing that people think. People think that we're all going to be together inside the kingdom. You know, that's not going to be the case because, see, it was like that at that time because we had to do what? We had to go into the land and go to war with the seven families of the Canaanites.
Right.
You know, the seven of the Canaanite families, and they would beat, you know, powerful nations. You know, so at the end of that, there was some left.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. And some of them, you know, assumed their position as being servants, just like you had the Amorites at that time. That were, you know, and they were to themselves. You know what I'm saying? They were to themselves. They weren't mingled out among everybody and all of that. No, they were to themselves. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We wasn't all just mingled up in this melting pot because in the kingdom of the Most High, all these nations are still going to have their own lands. Mm-hmm. They're going to have their own land. You know, they're not going to be just all with us. If they all with us, then who the hell's occupying the rest of the damn world? You know what I'm saying? Right. Who's going to be occupying that?
Right.
It's still going to be people in Africa. Still going to be people in Europe. Still going to be people in China, Japan, all of those places. The difference is we're going to be the top family up on the earth. You know what I'm saying? And they're not. Now you're going to have other nations that are going to be powerful. Just like it was during the time of King David and King Solomon, you know, like say for instance, you know, you had Tyre. Tyre was in a good position, you know, even in Egypt, because you know King Solomon's first wife was the daughter of Pharaoh.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to be doing that either. You know what I'm saying? This kingdom is going to be very similar to the kingdoms before, but there's a lot of things that's going to be way different. You know what I'm saying? The bar is going to be raised in this kingdom.
Right.
The righteous bar is going to be raised.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not going to be able to get away with things like taking all these heathen wives and all that stuff. You know, we're not going to be doing that because this kingdom is going to be a kingdom that's not going to fall. The other ones had an expiration date. You know what I'm saying? You know, based on the practices. So if you're not doing those practices, then it'll be a kingdom without end.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Straight up. Evil practices is what makes kingdoms fall. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we ready?
Yeah. Okay. That he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it unto an alien.
Yes, and the alien is somebody. The alien would actually be a heathen that doesn't live inside our gates.
Right, that's
The
right.
stranger, you know, this is why they're different. You know, this stranger lives inside. The stranger lives inside the gates, while the alien is a stranger that lives outside.
Mm-hmm.
You see, you know, that's the difference between the two. We can take the dead animals or whatever. You know, they might use the bones somewhere, like in China, to make soup. You know what I'm saying? That's how they do with a lot of unclean stuff. They grind up the bones and make soups and stuff like that out of it. We'd be able to take dead animals and everything and sell it to them, and they do what they do with it and make soups or whatever, make you know, all different kind of other stuff, you know, fur and stuff out of it. You know what I'm saying? They'll be able to do that, and we can rightfully sell the stuff to them. You know, which is completely lawful.
Mm-hmm.
But it would be unlawful for us to sell this stuff to each other
Right.
or to give it to each other.
Right.
That's because we are the holy nation. You know what I'm saying? You know, other nations have the possibility of doing things that are right. But as far as being the holy nation, they're not that. We are.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. Just like the white man is the man of sin today. You know, all the other nations sin, but who's the king of it? He's the king.
Mm-hmm.
He reigns champion. You know, he's a champion sinner. You know what I'm saying? You look at every evil enterprise on the earth, he's at the top of all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's go.
All right, come. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seeth a kid in his mother's milk.
Right, don't see a kid in his mother's milk, which means the baby goat or you know a lamb or whatever, while the little lamb is suckling.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Don't eat it while it's you know in the process of suckling. Wait till the process of suckling and everything is over. Then you can go ahead and make you know brisket out of it or whatever you want to do.
Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me. But that's it on that.
Okay.
Okay. So
question.
yeah, kind of. So we got 3 of them, right?
Okay.
So the first one is going to be Job chapter 35, verse 6 through 8.
Okay.
All right. And it reads, if thou sinnest, what doest thou against him? Or if thy transgressions be multiplied, what doest thou unto him? It's asking a question.
You might want to take it up a little bit.
All right, I got you. Give me a second. All right. How far? 1 verse, 2 verses up?
We'll go 2 verses.
2 verses. Okay, so 4. Verse 4. Job chapter 35, verse 4. I will answer thee, and thy companions with thee. Verse 5. Look unto the heavens, and see, and behold, the clouds which are higher than thou.
And this is the Most High speaking to Job right here.
Yeah, that's
Now,
right.
this is when the Most High was quiet all throughout all of those chapters while Job was complaining.
That's right, yeah.
You know, the Most High was quiet. Yeah, Job had faults just like any man does.
Come.
You know what I'm saying?
Come.
He had faults and he had to be corrected just like any other man does.
That's right.
You know, the Most High sat and wait and listen with patience and let him say his spiel. Then the Most High starts to check Job and starts to question him to make him check himself.
That's right.
Okay.
Come. Verse 6. If thou sinnest, what doest thou against him? Or if thy transgressions be multiplied, what doest thou unto him?
Okay, I want to be sure on actually who is talking to. What verse is that again?
This is verse 6.
I mean, what chapter?
35.
Okay, this,
So
this
Job
is before,
35 and
this is
6.
before the Most High start talking right here.
Okay,
The
it's
Most
that,
High
yeah.
start talking in like the 40, around the 40th chapter.
Okay, okay. It is asking a question. Like when it says, "If thou sinnest, what doest thou against him?" Like I mean, so, like when I'm taking from this, "If thou sinnest, what doest thou against him?" I mean, like, what are you doing against yourself? It's how it sounds. But
Yeah,
you
but
know.
it says what thou against him though.
Most High.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
what
right,
was thou against him? You know,
Yeah.
what's happening is their Job's friends started to blame Job, pretty much lightweight persecute him because of his situation.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what was actually going on here. It said, if thou sinnest, can you read that part again?
Yeah, Khan. Yes. If thou sinnest, what doest thou against him? I mean, it's like it. What doest thou against him? I see what you're saying.
Right. What do he's asking, if you sin, what are you doing against him?
Right. Or if thy transgressions be multiplied, what doest thou unto him?
Pretty much saying if your transgression is multiplied, how are you going to make this right?
Right.
Is what they're really saying.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's saying.
They were imitating Job, but they didn't have the understanding that Job has because they were not Israelites. You know what I'm saying? Job's companions, Job lived in Edom.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, brothers that moved to the suburbs, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Brothers that get wealthy and everything and move, among other nations, because one of his friends was Eliphaz the Temanite. He was a descendant of Esau's grandson, Teman.
Yeah, Teman, yeah. Old Teman.
Right.
Old Teman. Yeah. Back in
yeah, he's called different.
Different.
One's called Demon.
Demon. Oh, really?
In Apocrypha, right? Like the man.
Yeah.
So it might be where they got that from.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know it's translated differently.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And some translations spelled TheMan.
Oh, Demon, and then OT-Man.
Right.
Oh,
right.
Yeah, I can see that.
Right.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And that was one of his friends.
Mm-hmm.
So even though he did some righteous stuff, following, observing Job, because Job was, wealthy, and he could obviously see that Job was blessed.
Right, that's
right.
What
I'm saying? But, can you read that part where you just read again?
Yes. Verse 6, if thou sinnest, what doest thou against him? Or if thy transgressions be multiplied, what doest thou unto him?
Yeah, what are you doing to him when your transgressions is multiplied? How are you going to, pretty much saying, how are you actually going to make this right?
Mm-hmm.
Because in their world, they don't have the understanding that Job has. So in their world, you transgress against a king or anything like that, and you multiply it. It's pretty much saying, how are you going to make this right? Pretty much they're saying you can't make it right. Is what they're actually saying, because you offend the king of, Edom, you're dying. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do about that. Especially if you multiply the transgressions, you're dying. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 7, if thou be righteous, what givest thou him?
He's saying if you righteous, how can you what are you actually doing that's actually serving him by being righteous? Actually, he's going into some vain stuff for real.
Pretty much.
And this is what Esau will do, because they the ones that push atheism on the earth. You know what I'm saying? Actually, this is like a precursor to atheism. Because in reality, in the white man's natural state, he's an atheist. Not saying an atheist is he doesn't believe in the existence of God, but he believes, he actually is the opposer. You know what I'm saying? He's the opposer of the Lord and accuser of the Lord. And he wants to make you not believe in the Lord. And that's what's happening right here. Because now Job is starting to see who his friends really, who they really are. That this stuff, that's what the scripture said. If you have a friend, prove him.
Yeah.
Job did not prove them.
That's right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He did not prove these men. Now he's at his downstate. Now he's starting to see who they are.
Because I think in the later chapters, because I forget how many chapters there is in Job. It's a very long book. uh, correct me if I'm wrong. Don't Job go all the way towards the 90s?
No,
The
it
chapters?
goes like to
40s?
44, I think it is.
44. Okay, I might be thinking about Psalms. Yeah. So I
Psalms
think
go all the way up to one.
I think after this chapter, right? After this chapter, he has another conversation with his friends. Like his friends come over to his crib,
Right,
and they're talking amongst each other as far as all the things that happened to Job,
right,
and they start to have their own account or their own idea of what is going on with Job.
right,
But they were wrong, and the Most High heard it, and He punished the friends.
right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Right, right.
I forget what chapter that is,
Yeah,
but I
he
remember
made
Jenna
them-
Muhammad broke it down.
Yeah, he made
Yeah.
them come up with a peace offering, you know what I'm saying? A healthy, hefty, you know what I'm saying, amount of their flocks and herds and
Mhm.
stuff like that. You know, the Most High taxed the hell out of them. For that.
Yeah, because he wasn't like he was in a way he was offended by what the friends were saying,
Right,
and Job in a sense like he was more offended by what the friends were saying versus what Job was saying,
right,
and Job was still like, I don't know why this happened to me, but it's like, look, you serve the Most High, like
Right.
this happens to those that are righteous or wicked.
right,
Everybody gets tested.
right.
See what I'm saying? And everybody gets tempted too.
Right. And
See what I'm
now
saying? But yeah.
they see Job. Now they like what they pretty much saying is, "Why are you serving the Lord? See what you now."
Right. It sounds like his wife who had got killed.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
just like her. Yeah, she was vain as hell too.
Yeah. We said she said drop everything, curse God, something like that.
No, she said curse God and die.
Oh, curse God and die. Okay, I'm thinking about Job and Job's wife and Lot's wife. I can mix that. Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah.
You know,
Curse God and die. Good night.
yeah, that's what she told him. And all his friends, he couldn't give a right answer except for one. You know what I'm saying? It was a young man named Elihu.
That's right.
He's the one that broke it down right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's the one that broke. Go ahead.
So like actually, Elihu is actually chapter 35, verse 1. It actually says his name right here.
Oh, okay. That right. So
Yeah.
he's the one that's breaking it down.
I think it's him that's speaking because it says Elihu spake moreover and said.
Right.
So-
Okay. His
so-
his stuff was right. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What he said, what he was saying was right.
But he's still questioning him at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
know, right.
So I mean, if you want me to, I can just read from the side real quick.
Yeah.
All right, that's what. All right. Job chapter 35, verse 1. Elihu spake moreover and said, verse 2, thinkest thou this to be right, that thou saidest, my righteousness is more than God's?
Yeah.
Question mark.
That's the problem that Job had. Now that was it in a nutshell right there.
Right.
Because he believed that Job justified himself in all of this. That's one of the reasons why it took so long for Job to even be healed from
Oh, yeah.
the situation that he was in, because he couldn't see himself. You know what I'm saying? You know, he pretty much read it. You read that part again?
Okay. Job chapter 35, verse 2. Thinkest thou this to be right, that thou saidest, my righteousness is more than God's? Question mark.
Right. That is what
Okay.
he's actually saying.
Mhm.
And this is the reason why the Most High was angry and checked Job in the 40s in the 40s of the chapter
Mhm.
of the book.
Mhm.
You know, go ahead.
Verse 3. For thou saidest, what advantage will it be unto thee? And what profit shall I have if I be cleansed from my sin? And that's another question.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's the
Yeah,
time.
yeah. If this is what Job was, thinking right here.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Because at this time, the Most High put a hedge around Job where Satan couldn't touch him.
Right. First
You know what I'm
chapter.
saying?
Mhm.
Go ahead.
That was the first chapter. As far as the hedge.
Yeah.
kinda,
I was pretty much going into Job's
Yeah.
life, though.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
kind
saying?
of. Yeah.
So now he's thinking he's getting all this because of his righteousness,
Mhm.
all of the blessings that happened to him, and he started thinking like that. So now
Right.
with the persecution, when he starts to get trouble, the persecuted, now he's thinking, I'm so righteous. Why is this happening to me?
Right.
And justifying himself instead of justifying the Most High.
That's
You
right.
know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And he's getting to the point where he's kind of thinking he's actually had a big head about himself.
There you go. Kind of. Yeah. That's right. All right. You want to keep going?
Right.
All right. Verse 4. I will answer thee, and thy companions with thee. Verse 5. Look unto the heavens, and see, and behold the clouds which are higher than thou. I see. I'm starting to understand a little bit more now. Verse 6. If thou sinnest, what doest thou against himself? So like him. Or if thy transgressions be multiplied, what doest thou unto him?
Right, right. You know, he's pretty much saying, consider what you doing to him. You know what I'm saying? You know, what are you doing to him when your sins is multiplied?
Right.
You know.
Verse 7. If thou be righteous, what givest thou him? Or what receiveth he or thine hand?
Right. And if you being righteous, because the scripture says our righteousness is a filthy rags.
Yeah, Isaiah.
Job was being self-righteous also.
Right, there you go.
That's why the young man Elihu asked that question. You know, if you righteous, what offering are you offering up with your righteousness?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Verse 8. Thy wickedness may hurt a man as thou art, and thy righteousness may profit the Son of Man. Good night.
Right.
Wow, damn, that's deep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it is. And now think about it. And this also is probably one of the reasons why Job's friends was coming to him. You know what I'm saying? Can you read that part again?
I got you. Verse 7. That's like verse 8. Thy wickedness may hurt a man as thou art.
The wickedness that was in Job did hurt the men around him. You know what I'm saying? Because look at them now, since he's in this low state. Now, you know what I'm saying? The wickedness that's in them is actually coming out. You know what I'm saying? Now they, you know, are looking judgmental towards the Lord themselves.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like it said, you know, about in the first verse, you know,
Elihu has spoke.
right.
Spake.
Yeah. That the first verse.
Yeah. So Elihu spake moreover and said, thinkest thou this to be right, and that thou sayest my righteousness is more than God's?
Right.
Verse 2.
Now, what has his friends thinking?
That he's self-righteous, or he's he's thinking.
But they are too.
Yes.
You know what
yes,
I'm saying?
God, that's right.
They
yes.
are too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's teaching
based on a
them.
response.
Right.
Yes.
And they are like he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's like, and actually, you know what, too? I'm glad you said that, because like we talked about this. We had talked about this a couple of Sabbaths ago, like Sabbath service ago. The last one you was here, what, like 2 weeks ago or last week? No, not last week, but yeah, probably 2 weeks ago, right? And we had talked about how, like, you know how if someone is in fear, it's better that they stay home so they don't bring the fear to the battlefield.
Right.
At least everybody else is in fear.
Right.
That's in Proverbs somewhere.
Right.
And what I'm getting from that is pretty much like, you know, based on like it's very important how you project yourself as a man of the Lord.
Right.
Because if you are, you know, out of order, out of character, out of the spirit, things of that sort around your men, if they're not strong enough, they might pick up on that and be the same way.
Right.
And then you might be wondering, like, you know, what the hell is going on with you guys?
Right.
Sometimes you gotta look at yourself,
Right.
not them.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. This is the second.
Yeah, that was actually pretty much it. And hopefully I answered the brother's question. He got two more. Ecclesiasticus in Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus chapter 37, verse 19. There is one that is wise and teacheth many, and yet is unprofitable to himself. Now we may need a little bit of backstory, meaning a few scriptures before.
I got that one.
Okay.
Now. I'm gonna give an example. The Pharisees. What did Christ say about them? He said, "Do as they say and not as they do."
Yes.
These were unprofitable to themselves. They looked profitable, right?
Yep.
Because they were rich. They looked profitable, but at the same time, they were unprofitable because the whole, the seats that they sat in was getting ready to get stripped with them and transferred on over to the apostles.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? They're unprofitable to themselves, even though they teach many.
Right.
They taught the laws and everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But Christ didn't say don't listen to them. He didn't say that.
Right.
He said, "Do as they say and not as they
He
do."
do kind of action wise. Kind of, if I may, I believe a good precept would be Matthew 5:18 when it talks about down. It's also a paraphrasing when it talks about there are there are people who will those that make it to the kingdom, right?
Right.
So Matthew 5:18 when it talks about those that teach the law
Right.
and keep the law shall be great in the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
But those that teach the law and do not keep the law shall be least in the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
And so yeah, I take that from this, and you're right about that.
Right.
Yeah.
Any more?
Actually, no, that was it. Unless you want me to read verse 20.
Was that the
Yeah,
only one?
yeah. So that was the only one as far as Ecclesiasticus.
Okay.
Otherwise, we have Matthew 18 and 23, and that's it.
Okay.
18, 23 through let me see. Yeah, I guess that was it. All right, so Matthew chapter 18, verse 23. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king which would take account of his servants. And this is Christ speaking.
Right.
And that was it on that part, unless we want to keep going.
And that, what was his question on that though? Was that?
So he wanted his question was like, what exactly is it speaking about? What exactly does it mean? But if I was to get more context, I would say verse 20, if you don't mind.
Okay.
All right. Matthew chapter 18, verse 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. That's understandable. Then came Peter to him and said, Lord, how oft shall my brother sin against me and I forgive him? So 7 times? We already know about that. Yahushua saith unto him, I say not unto thee until 7 times, but until 70 times 7. So we get that as well. That's that's Hebrew Academy. That's class 101. UPK 101, we always teach that. That's very self-explanatory, meaning forever. Always forgive your brother and your sister. Verse 23. Therefore is the kingdom of heaven likened unto a certain king, which would take account of his servants. So based on what he had asked me, he was kind of thrown off by that precept.
Taking account of his servants. It's just like anybody that's over people. You know, you have to take account of them, know where the strengths is at, or the weaknesses. You know what I'm saying? Just like your football coach. You know what I'm saying? A football coach this dude is a running back.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This guy, he's a wide receiver.
Right.
This dude is pretty much knowing them and taking account of them. You know how many you got.
Right.
You know what they're all good at. Well, Christ is the same way. Christ knew all the apostles. Which you know what I'm saying? He knew the strengths, the weaknesses, all of that. Well, that is going into anybody that's leading people. You know what I'm saying? Especially anybody that that's leading, in the kingdom that has a position over others. You know what I'm saying? Taking an account of everybody. You got 10 men under you, right? You're supposed to know about these men. You know what I'm saying? Understand these men. Right. Understand how to have maximum, how to maximize their abilities. For the greater cause.
Okay, so, actually, the brother just texted me. He said that he actually said that it was actually a little bit more than just that. Actually, I believe last time we talked, he said that he's trying to figure out if this person is a heathen or not. So it's actually Matthew chapter 18, verse 23 through 35. Okay. You might have speed past it, but I mean everything that you said, I do understand that part, and I'm sure he does as well. He just said that. So you might just move forward real quick. Yeah. All right, okay. I'll just go to verse 24. And when he had begun to reckon, one was brought unto him which owed him 10,000 talents. And actually, I remember this. Verse 25. But for as much as he had not to pay, his Lord commanded him to be sold, and his wife and children and all that he had, and payment to be made. Verse 26. The servant therefore fell down and worshipped him, saying, Lord, have patience with me, and I will pay thee all. We actually just talked about this a little bit earlier. Verse 27. Then the Lord of that servant was moved with compassion and loosed him and forgave him the debt. Verse 28. But the same servant went out and found one of his fellow servants, which owed him 100 pence. And he laid hands on him and took him by the throat, saying, pay me that thou owest.
Right.
Go ahead.
You always have to know the goodness that was shown unto you, when you're dealing with others. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much, what that's about. Understanding, because you was once him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm,
You was once that guy, and you received mercy. So it's good to have, as the scripture said, as much as you receive, freely give. So if you receive mercy, give it. Because in reality, when it all boils down to it, all of us is worthy of death. All of us is worthy of very bad stuff happening to us. You know what I'm saying? So, it goes on the scripture, judge not, lest you be judged.
mm.
Okay, any more?
Actually, no, actually, that was it. Actually, the brother just texted me again. He said, actually, this is a story about usury. We were talking about usury earlier. So I got that mixed up with the other story that he was trying to ask me. So
I don't think that's usury, because if he owed him 10,000 talents,
right,
and he's just charging him 10,000 talents, that's not usury. Usury is a tax that you put
right,
on.
right.
Like
Time.
if you owe him 10,000, he owe you 10,000 talents. You telling him pay me 15,000.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Time.
That's what we call today interest.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
If he owes you, if he borrows 10,000, he's supposed to pay you back 10,000. That's not usury.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah.
That's just a loan right there.
Yeah.
A loan, and he's paying back the loan. But here's the thing: if he owe you 10,000 talents and he can't pay you, you know what I'm saying? He can't pay you, but you still want your money. That's not usury either. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's not usury at all, because he owes you that money. If he owes you, he's supposed to pay you that money. He said he will pay you.
Right.
Simple as that, you know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, we always use this chapter, or just pretty much the verses that the brother had gave us. We usually use this for, like, showing a lack of brotherhood.
Right.
Because like to this day, it can apply today to where like as far as brotherhood, we make sure that nothing breaks us apart.
Right.
Whether it's money, in this sense, it's money.
Right.
See what I'm saying? Woman, you got scriptures about that. Just anything, like, if we have any odds with each other, disputes, things of that sort. But this one definitely is about showing, first part is brotherhood, what's being shown, and then lack of brotherhood. Right. Yeah, compassion. Right. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Upon one another, because compassion says, what if I was in this situation?
Right. Yeah.
What would I want for someone? How would I want somebody to treat me?
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I want some mercy in this situation. So you give the mercy to him.
Mm-hmm.
But the dude whose debt was forgiven went out, and somebody owed him money. Now he's ready to break his damn kneecaps. You know what I'm saying? He's ready to do some mafia stuff to him. You know. Go ahead.
It's like the brother had asked as well on YouTube. So he said, Khan, so just because someone doesn't practice what they preach doesn't mean what they preach is wrong.
Right, that's true.
Like
the saying that I said earlier, a broke clock is right twice a day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We done learned stuff from our parents and everything, and uncles and all that were actually good things to know. But Uncle such and such is on crack.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What we do is we take the good thing that he said, instead of just throwing the baby out with the bathwater, you know what I'm saying? Which a lot of us do. I just know he's just a crackhead. You filter out, you know what I'm saying? You filter out, the things that he told you, to see if they're right and everything, you know what I'm saying? And learn something. You know what I'm saying?
So that was it as far as the question. Unless you want to get into something else, it's already 9:11.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? 9:11. I keep thinking about the heathens and shit.
Yeah, let's jump down to let's go to Nehemiah 13 and 15.
Ooh, that's my book. Good night.
You
said 13, right?
Right, 13 and 15. 15. Now this is total proof of how we operate the damn direct opposite of the way that everybody else operates, and we're marveled at.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? By the support that we're willing to support, the length of support that we're ready to give to others and not our own. You know, this, go ahead.
No, so I wasn't saying no. I was just
Oh,
listening. You want to go ahead?
yeah.
Okay, I thought you still talking. All right. Nehemiah chapter 13, verse 15. In those days saw I in Judah some treating wine presses on the Sabbath. Treading? Oh, it's
Right,
like,
treading the
my
wine
bad.
press. They were working, right?
Yeah, Tom. So like I will do it again. In those days saw I in Judah some treading wine presses on the Sabbath, and bringing in sheaves, and ladding asses, as also wine, grapes and figs, and all manner of burdens, which they brought into Jerusalem on the Sabbath day. And I testified against them in the day wherein they sold victuals.
Right. But there's a point that I'm trying to bring out when they said the men of Tyre.
Okay, you want me to keep going there?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I'm trying to get to the part where the men of Tyre.
Yeah. That's actually verse 16.
Okay.
Verse 16. There dwelt men of Tyre, also therein which brought fish and all manner of wine.
Now look at this. They're going to our gates to sell to us on the Sabbath day.
That's right.
Imagine if somebody did that to Jewish people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Think the Jewish people will buy that?
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? And they ain't even they certainly they don't even care nothing for the Sabbath for real. They just doing it just because to uphold the lie of them being the Jew.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't do this with no, only one race. And notice what tribe it said also.
Judah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Now think about this. They coming to us selling stuff to us, but at the same time, we at this time we probably could sell something to them. But if you look at the time that we in now, we ain't selling a damn thing to them. They're not gonna buy nothing from us, but they always coming to sell us stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm
Always.
saying?
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, that's proof that who is the Israelites.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Who the Israelites are, because we operate the direct opposite of anybody else. Go to one of they, you can't even go to them normally and sell them nothing. Imagine going on a holy day. You know what I'm saying? Or go try to sell something to the Arabs on Ramadan. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we'll find out what tree you'll be on. You know what I'm saying? You be hung some damn word, you know what I'm saying, beheaded or something. You better not even try. They killed a dude for farting on Ramadan. You know what I'm saying? Serious.
Really?
Yeah. An Arab dude that farted in Ramadan.
Wow.
Yeah, serious. An Arab dude, an Israelite farted in Ramadan and they killed his ass. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Only we will allow somebody to violate our holy days. You know what I'm saying? And they come through from all the way from Tyre, you know what I'm saying, and selling fish and all types of goods and stuff to us, setting up in the hood. You know what I'm saying, Lord?
Who's the nation of Tyre again? It's not
Tyre is Canaanites. Actually,
Canaanites,
Tyre and Zidon.
It's Canaanites.
Right.
Yeah, that's
they're Tyre is an offshoot of the Zidonians.
Zidonians, that's
You know
right.
what I'm saying? They're Phoenicians. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's who the Phoenicians are Canaanites. But it was Tyre and Zidon. They were like twin. They were like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, Sodom and
You know what I'm
Gomorrah,
saying?
yeah.
Greco-Rome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Things like that. Yeah, that's who Tyre is.
The Hittites. Who are the Hittites again?
They're the children of Heth. Heth,
Heth, yeah,
Heth, the son of Canaan. They Canaanites also.
Yeah.
They're the old inhabitants of southern Europe.
Yeah. It's a whole lot of Africans around here.
Yeah, you got to think. You got to look at Canaanite territory. Golly, it was
Yeah.
vast. It wasn't just in Africa either.
No.
They were all the Hittites. Their land was in southern Europe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? That's where there was five. They had 5 kingdoms. The 5 kings of the Hittites. And they were super powerful. And during the time of the Greeks, you know, when the Greeks were taking over, they had to do a whole lot of warring with them too, because they were still, you know, real powerful at that time. Not only were they fighting the Phoenicians, you know, they had some of their hardest battles against the Canaanites.
Yeah,
You know?
so you're talking about the Africans against Esau and shit like that?
Right.
Yeah, that sounds about
Yeah,
right.
they had a lot of the hardest battles, you know, against them.
Yes,
You know what I'm
yeah, it's like it. A lot of people don't know that Esau went against damn near every nation.
Yeah. Yeah, he had to go.
Now some of them are his allies.
Right.
And some are still his enemies.
Right. The thing about
For
it,
now, you know what I mean? Yeah.
the Canaanites lost, you know, their power, their time was up. You know what I'm saying? The Canaanites' power started to diminish. You know, that's why people look at the ancient Phoenicians and you go through them and about with history and stuff like that, like they do with Egypt. They do the same thing with the Canaanites.
Right. Yeah.
You know? That's where a lot of devil culture come from. The naked statues and all of that.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. Their culture, the Canaanite customs.
Of course. Yeah. You want to keep going, or is that was it? Okay. Verse 16. Let's see. Give me a second. Yeah. Verse 16. There dwelt men of Tyre, also therein, which brought fish and all manner of war, and sold on the Sabbath unto the children of Judah and in Jerusalem.
Right. Now, what was the leaders doing? What were the leaders doing at this time? Nehemiah was the only one standing up against it.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? All the other leaders were just letting it happen. Just like the Christian pastors let, you know, everybody come to our neighborhoods today and sell us every damn thing. While we can't sell them nothing. There ain't no partnership or brotherhood between that. You know what I'm saying? How it goes is, but they'll do that with each other though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They'll patronize each other's businesses.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Indianapolis one time, and I was downtown. I think I was just getting off of slavery and everything, and I was wanting something to eat. And I was downtown. I couldn't find no fast food restaurants where I was at. So I seen this one restaurant. It was an Italian and Japanese restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what I'm saying. Just some words. I never saw nothing like that. But you know, I went in there and I noticed something. It was white people that owned the place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they wouldn't even know Italians. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
They're about Italian as Pizza Hut. Yeah, but they was in there. They was the ones that was running the place. But then when I looked over to the right, I seen Japanese dudes sitting there in business suits eating there. You know what I'm saying? So you got the Edomites that are selling them something, and they sell things to the Edomites.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because the Edomites go to Japanese restaurants and eat.
Yeah.
They patronize each other. But with us, everything just goes one way, from us to them. You know what I'm saying? And if they go into a black restaurant to eat, a year later, they own it. You know what I'm saying? Because what people don't know, now this is some hardcore racist stuff right here. When they come to this country, the laws have them equal to and over us just for setting foot on American soil. This is the law. This is law. This is American law written on the books. That's the reason why they're a minority and a majority when it benefits them. Both. They get to play both sides of the fence. We get to play only one side. We the minority, and the law states that no minority can take any resources from a majority, and it can't go from majority to minority. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When it comes to the white man and everything, they're a minority. The other heathens are a minority. You know what I'm saying? Being the fact that none of the white businesses or resources can go over to them, they give them us, whom they're a majority over, and we are the minority. So they can come through and take everything we got.
Right.
But we cannot go into their neighborhoods and set up anything. You know what I'm saying? We can't set up a damn thing in none of their neighborhoods. So think about that. So now people want to know why the ghetto is poor, why the ghetto look the way it do. In their mind, they think the niggas just run around tearing up stuff. What's that scripture when it said, without, I'm paraphrasing, without labor, the roof falleth in?
I think that's down there on point.
Hey, can you find that?
Yeah. So, can you say it one more time?
Without the labor, the roof polythene. Back when we go to the prayer.
Say it
I
again.
think it's back before we go to the prayer.
So I can be the one to do the prayers and you guys to the back.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. Do you think Ecclesiastes?
It might be that. It might be that.
Yeah, I think this is it.
Okay.
Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 18. By much slothfulness, the building decayeth.
Yes. Now think about it. They're very slothful as far as when it comes to putting resources in the black neighborhoods, but allowing all the resources to go out.
Right.
That's the reason why the ghettos look the way that they do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Can you read that again?
Time. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 18. By much slothfulness, the building decayeth.
The buildings in the hood, in the ghetto, what do they look like? They're decaying.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Nobody is diligent when it comes to putting money into it. And if they do start to put money into it, that's because they're trying to sell it to another race.
Absolutely.
They're trying to have it gentrified. So yes, now now you have all of these drug dealers, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, switching the game up and going into real estate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And Christian pastors have been, you know, they was doing it before the drug dealers.
Right.
Buying up, you know, houses, 10 houses on the block,
Mm-hmm.
and then fixing them up and everything. Got people, you know, people living in them. But as soon as the white man want to buy one of them, they kick the black person out
Mm-hmm.
and sell it to that white man.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, how is that the love of God? How is that Jesus' love?
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, Jesus' love is to hate black people.
There's more on it.
Okay.
And through idleness of the hands, the house droppeth through.
Right. But how did and the thing about, like I was saying, nobody is putting that work into the black community and the resources. They're not putting it in. Everything is just only going out.
Right.
Just going out. Just going out. You know what I'm saying? Economically bleeding out.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever bleeds out dies. You know what I'm saying? Straight as simple as that. You know what I'm saying? You lose all the blood in your body, what happens? You're dead. You know what I'm saying? You know, and nothing getting put back in, everything only going out. A battery is used like that. You know what I'm saying? A battery is there to charge whatever machine it's operating, you know, whatever car, you know, but the battery doesn't get anything itself. It just gets recharged, but it benefits nothing. It gets recharged so it can keep fueling out. And to be honest with you, this is what your job is about.
Right.
You know, this is what your employment is about. Your employment ain't nothing but a damn recharge. You battery being recharged so that it can go right back out again and fuel and power everybody else.
Right.
That's what with the scripture when it said that the fall of them be the riches of the world.
Yeah.
If we go to that one right quick.
Yeah.
He oppresses the devil in the Bible speaks.
God. I heard that in a while. Give me 1 second. You said the followers be the riches of the world?
Right.
Yeah, that sounds right. Do you remember what book by chance?
It's in Romans.
Romans.
Yeah,
Okay.
Romans, I think Romans 11.
11 and 12. That's right. Romans chapter 11, verse 12. Now, if the fall of them be the riches of the world,
The fall of us, they have to keep us down in order for themselves to be up. So who was this talking about the kingdom? Everything will be equal in the kingdom. That's not an equal dynamic right there.
right?
You know what I'm saying? So in the kingdom of God, we're gonna have to be way up above everybody else. Everybody else is gonna have to be down. You know what I'm saying? Look at this one. We're down. Everybody else is up. That's, you know, everybody, that hour with the beast is they get that hour with the beast that the Revelation is talking about, you know, off of our backs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That hour, and they living it up with that hour with the beast too.
Mm-hmm.
They received their kingdom with the hour of the beast. You look at Thailand 60 years ago. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Countries like Thailand and Vietnam and all of that stuff 60 years ago, these places were third world.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Look at Africa. People, when they show Africa, they show like the tribes clicking and shit. You know what I'm saying? And doing all of that stuff. And then all of this barren land and everything. They got cities in Africa that are insane. I mean, insane. And you go to that place, it's like you used to go there. You're like, damn, you have that shit in America. Look at it. You can see all of these crazy, you know what I'm saying, skyscrapers and all of this, digital stuff. And, you go to these places like that. All of that is at hour with the beast. And how do we have to be in order for them to be like that? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
We got to be like Detroit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We got to be like the South Side of Chicago. You know what I'm saying? We got to be like, just like, we got to be like the lowest, places, with the abandoned, boarded up houses and all of that. We have to be like that in order for everybody else to be like this.
Right.
In order for New York City to look the way it do, how we got to be. Because if we come to power, then New York City is going to start to look like what our ghettos formerly looked like. They're going to be looking like somewhere in there in Bosnia, one of them, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
Russian third world, type of countries and all of that. And Scandinavia, Croatia, they'll start to look like that. And guess who will start to look like New York City? The ghetto. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The ghetto. Think about it. Look at the Harlem back in the early 1900s. Thriving and popping. How was everybody else living? They were starting to jump off of banks. We was unaffected by the Depression because, we was a totally separate world. You know what I'm saying? We didn't load our money in white banks. So how the hell was we affected, right?
Right.
We had black banks operating on a totally different system than them. So when the Depression hit, the only time that you was affected is if you worked for them. You know what I'm saying? But if you work for somebody black in the hood and everything, you wasn't affected.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? They were jumping off buildings, off banks to their death. We wasn't doing that. And show me one record of us doing that during the time of the Depression. You won't find that at all.
Right.
Okay, cool.
Okay. And the diminishing of them, the riches of Gentiles, of the Gentiles.
Right, the riches of the Gentiles. So now when we go to that scripture that talks about the salvation is come unto the Gentiles, you know what I'm saying? Couple that with this scripture right there, and it'll start to paint a picture of what it's talking about. It's not talking about salvation like, we was, cast down so that all the heathens and everything could be saved. That's not what that's talking about. They got their salvation right now. That's the hour with the beast.
Mm-hmm.
This is their salvation right now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This is their salvation. The salvation has to do with rulership and an ability to stop your enemies from doing things to you. Do we have salvation right now? Can anybody tell me? Do blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians have salvation right now? What's one of the ways that we don't have it? Because police can come into our neighborhoods and kill us.
Right.
That's how you know we don't have it. Our enemies can just sit there and just exploit the hell out of us because we don't have it. Other businesses can set in the, you know what I'm saying? They can turn our daughters into ghetto gaggers because we don't have it. We don't have salvation.
Mm-hmm.
They have it because you do any damn thing to them. You get murdered or thrown in jail, drugs in the back of a damn truck or something, you know what I'm saying? Huh?
And other nations have hate crimes against us.
Yes, exactly. The Chinese the Asians have salvation. That's why they come with the Asian laws. Where?
Asian hate.
Asian hate laws. Asian can start a fight with you. Punch you in your mouth. You punch him. You get charged with an Asian hate crime. You know why? Because they have salvation. They have, they can stop people from doing things to them.
Mm-hmm.
If you can stop people from hurting you, you know what I'm saying? Or injuring your people, that's power. You know what I'm saying? If you can stop people from doing things to you, that's what salvation is about.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You can do things to people, but they can't do nothing to you. The white man has his salvation right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He can do all manner of evil stuff to us. If we decided to do it back, you know what I'm saying? We're going to have to pay, you know what I'm saying, the penalty for that because
Right.
he has salvation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now we start to understand. Now we start to get understanding of what salvation actually is. Not like what the Christian pastors give you. You ask him what salvation is, it's just being saved.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He just giving you the root word and everything.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Which you don't know what the hell that even means. You're saved from your sins. And then somebody say, well, I like smoking weed. Why I need to be saved from that? You know what I'm saying? It makes me feel good. Why do I need to be saved from what makes me feel good? You know? And the Christian pastor is stumped. Well, it's just shouldn't smoke it. And a lot of times they'll be like, well, you're right. Matter of fact, pass that this way. Let me hit it too. Keep this between us.
Mm-mm.
God made it from the earth. Okay.
Oh, is that it? Or,
Yeah, that's it right there.
Okay. Oh, it's like it's one part.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. How much more their fullness in us?
How much more our fullness, because when we on top, they're going to receive a blessing because we're on top, because we're going to be judging things righteously. We're not going to allow one nation to hurt another nation unjustly. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep the peace on the earth. And if you know that, you know, we're going to be like the Don, the top Dons. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
How two captains or whatever have a problem with each other, and that Don straighten that problem out. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And if the one, you know, don't want to get it straightened out, then you know what I'm saying, it could be held against him. He's gonna have to pay he's gonna have to pay that penalty. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. Or say if one nation does something to somebody else, and then you know, we'll ask that other nation, okay, what do you want from them? Okay, what we can actually do is we can give you this section of business that belongs to them, and we can give them their stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If we find out that they were unjustly done, you know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, we're gonna tax both of them, because now this new business deal that we gave him that belongs to them, they got to pay us taxes on that. You know what I'm saying? That's salvation,
That's how it works.
That's salvation right there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We lend one thing to, you know, where one nation lends something to, they like, man, they didn't pay us, you know, for such and such. Then we go into the law that make them pay them according to that with the interest. You know what I'm saying? That you know, or they stole this or they stole that. We'll handle stuff like that for both the nations that are in the seat in the court with us is going to be paying us anyway. Yeah, okay. And they're going to have to pay the court costs also, like they do us today. You know, fines and court costs. You know what I'm saying? We do one nation fine, we make one nation fine the next, and we get paid off the fine too. You know what I'm saying? And now them two are at peace. You know what I'm saying? One nation decide they want to unjustly go to war with one, we could tell another nation to go and attack that nation. You know what I'm saying? You know, or have that nation come and attack that nation, or have them two together to come and attack them. And if they don't, then they're going to have to pay the penalty. We just get another nation, another 3 or 4 nations to come and attack them. And they already know it, so they're going to be forced to do what the hell we tell them to do. That's salvation. You know what I'm saying? That's salvation. You know what I'm saying? Power moves, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We're going to be in the seat where we can do things like that. That's how we're going to be a nation of kings and priests. Right. Because even the lower ones of us are going to have that ability. You know what I'm saying? Right. The lower of us is going to be able to go into another country and be treated like royalty. You know what I'm saying? That's like a Jewish man, a low-level Jewish man coming into our neighborhood today. Mm-hmm. How do we look at him? You know what I'm saying? We believe every damn thing he say. He could be selling us, you know what I'm saying, any damn thing. And we believe him. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because he is operating like a king and a priest among us now. Right. We want to find out, we even want to find out how to be us to them. Ain't that some stuff? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? We did the natural Hebrews, we go into some imposters to find out how to be us. With that being said, we have the ICBK coming out of 1 West on the 25th Street, Harlem, New York. Pay your tithes, support this truth. With that being said, I'm going to pass the class over to Priest and Officer Maccabi.
Elijah. All right, security announcements. We are the ISUK, started at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or a sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi chapter 3, 8 through 10, means 10th in the Hebrew. My Asherah, 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund, free will offer for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations is going to be memorial blowing of the trumpets, which is going to be September 6th, sundown. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school to start wearing all black, boot, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. All right, it's fine. Actually, I can just take it. I can take it. Yeah. All right. All right. So we are going to get into the Lord's Prayer. I want everybody to face the east. How we say the Hebrews will find the Hakodah, which means to face the east. All right. The Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Hayah, Shukah, Yahweh, Malach Watka, Taba'ah, Ratazaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan, Lanawa, Lakom, Kol, Yawam, Wasalakana, Kawawatina, Kasalakana, Kawawatina, Wala'ah, Kaba'ayana, Manasaya Won, Kapol, Hashayana, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Amalakwa, Wa'ala, Watapara, Alam, Aman, in English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, and will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our debts, as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Amen. All right, bless Israel in Hebrew. Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Barak Lanah, Vayasha Allah, Wahab Vayat, Sapari, Barak, Rafa'ah, Magun. Say the name of loved ones once, everyone repeats the name once. For those that's on social media, if you have someone that you want to pray for, type it into the chat and we will repeat it. For those that's in the room, you may begin. House of Sarah, Tommy Johnson, Monique Johnson,
Joel
Washington,
Kenneth Johnson,
Kenneth Johnson,
D. Holland,
Collins,
Gene Holland,
Keenan Collins,
Keenan Holland,
Keenan Collins.
Keenan Bellafont,
Say it again.
Bellafont,
Keenan Bellafont.
Say it one more time, sis.
Keenan Bellafont,
Keenan Bellafont.
Janiyah Holland,
Holland. Anybody else?
Deion Holland,
Deion Hollis.
ISBK Minnesota.
ISK Minnesota.
ISBK Haiti.
ISK Haiti.
All of Haiti.
All of Haiti. All of Israel.
All of Israel.
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
Yahushua. Angels. Generals. Captains. Officers. Troopers. Students. Sisters. Children. All of Israel. ISUK Minnesota. The Rollins family. The Willis family. The Slaughter family. The Peterson family. The Daniels family. all of Israel.
all of Israel.
Israelite School UPK,
Israelite School, okay?
Haiti,
Haiti,
ISUPK Haiti,
ISBK Haiti,
Israelite School UPK,
Israelite School, UPK,
all of Israel.
all of Israel.
All right. Let's see. Desiree Davis,
Desiree Davis,
UPK Minnesota,
UPK Minnesota,
AK,
okay,
all of UPK,
all of UPK,
the Davis family.
Davis family,
All right, for those that's also in the chat as well, Maya Call,
Michael,
Azara,
Azara,
Pancho,
Anto,
Dekaya,
Zakai,
all of Israel.
all of Israel.
All right. So let's go ahead and move forward. Bashimi Al-Shah,
Bashimi Al-Shah,
Tawada Aman.
Tawada Aman,
In English, Lord, in the name of Yahweh Shah,
in the name of Al-Shah,
bless us in Israel,
bless us in Israel,
in the school.
in school,
Bless still shield protect
bless your shield protect,
loved ones.
so,
In the name of Yahweh Shah,
in the name of Al-Shah,
thank you.
thank you,
So be it.
so be it.
Power structure. Bless are you, Yahweh,
Blessed be Yahweh,
King of heaven and
King of
earth,
heaven and earth,
and all things
and
living.
all things living.
Yahweh.
Yahweh,
In the name of Yahweh
in the
Shah,
name of Al-Shah,
listen to us now,
listen to us now,
right now.
right now.
See, he was a curse
The evil's curse,
and punishment instruction
punishment,
to
instruction
the heathen
to the heathen,
that speak against
speak
us,
against us,
like prophets,
our
the
prophets,
teachers, the
teachers,
princes,
princes,
the priests,
priests,
the Israelite brothers,
Israelite brothers,
in the school.
in school.
See, he was a curse
The evil's curse,
and punishment instruction
punishment, instruction
to the heathen
to the heathen,
and shake loose
shake
the
loose,
treasure of the rich of Israel
treasures of rich
that
Israel,
refused to give to the school,
refuse to give to the school,
force their riches
force their riches
into thy
into
sanctuary.
thy
See,
sanctuary.
he was a curse,
The evil's curse,
punishment and instruction
punishment, instruction
to Edomites
to the
and the
Edomites,
nations
the nation,
and the drug
and the
dealers,
drug
the
dealers,
court system,
court system,
the prison
prison
system,
system,
Planned
Planned
Parenthood,
Parenthood,
all the governments of our
all
enemies,
governments of our enemies,
everlasting gods and armies,
everlasting gods and armies,
Roman Catholic
Roman
Church,
Catholic Church,
the Pope,
Pope,
Islam,
Islam,
Christianity,
Christianity,
Egyptology,
Egyptology,
militia,
militia,
Ku Klux Klan,
Klux Klan,
Aryan Nation,
Aryan Nation,
skinheads,
skinheads,
Hasbuntaza, the
Hasbuntaza,
gay movement,
gay movement,
the lesbian
lesbian
movement,
movement,
spies,
spies,
works of
forces of
witchcraft,
witchcraft,
Nazi space
and
program,
that space program,
Army,
Army,
Navy,
Navy,
Air Force,
Air Force,
Marines,
Marines,
Wall Street,
Wall Street,
open up the
open
internet,
up the internet,
and the airwaves,
and the airwaves,
cable access
cable
channel,
access channel,
and the radio
and the
channel.
radio channel.
Convict the spirit of Israelite people
Big spirit of being in our people,
that seek to stop us
seek to stop
and
us,
bring swift destruction
bring to
to
destruction
all the heathen
to all the people
that stand in the way
stand in the way,
or try to stop
try to
us
stop
from
us,
broadcasting your words
broadcasting your words
throughout the planet Earth.
throughout the planet Earth.
Then loose all the plagues,
Resolve the plague,
cause them to go to and fro
cause them to go to and fro
through the earth and consume
through
them.
the earth and consume them.
Let the plague shake the house of the thief
Let the plague shake the house of the thief
and the murderer.
and the murderer.
And Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
Michael Gabriel,
Michael Gabriel,
come down with flying saucers
down with the flying saucers,
and punish all the heathen
punish all the heathen
that come up against us
against us.
as we speak thy
As we
word.
speak thy word,
Cause it be known by all
cause to be known by all.
that it is the angels
This is the angels
that have done
that
it.
have done it.
Cause it to be spread through the media
Cause to be spread through the media
throughout the whole world.
throughout the whole world.
Cause them to shake out that
Cause them
coming.
to shake at that coming.
In the name of Yahweh Shai,
Yahweh Shai,
thank you always.
thank you always.
So be
So
it.
be it.
Sar. Men of Israel, my Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Barak. All right. Salute to the sisters. Imagine Shabbat, Imagine, Barak, Yahweh Shema Bashem Yahweh Shai.
Shalom, Shema, Shalom,
All right, now start. Class is missed. Great class, everyone. Great class. Perfect, man.